Okay. I don't know why this wants to do that. Okay, I'm just gonna scooch over. Okay, today I am, number one, making a mess, right? If you're not making a nest, are you even really creating anything, right? And I am painting. So I shared my thrifting haul. No, did I share it in stories? I forget where I shared it, if I shared it in stories or on here. But I was at the thrift store this week and I found this bag of, it was like this, hanging on the end cap. A lot of thrift stores will put a bunch of stuff in a bag like this. So I found this on an end cap, and as I was coming around the corner, out of the side of my eye, kind of, it looked like eggs. And I'm like, are those wood eggs? What are they? Well, it's like that vase filler. Somebody said it was potpourri. And I mean, they have like maybe a scent. So I don't know if this was potpourri at one time, but it's like a vase filler. I swear you get these at Target. But I grabbed them because they do look like the egg shape. And so what I am doing is, these projects are so simple. These are the projects I love because you can just zone out, turn on your favorite podcast or listen to your favorite music and just do them. So what I am doing is, like I said, I'm kind of making a mess here. I'm picking some of my favorite colors, paint colors, and just running with those. I also picked up, I have these. So these are in the Target, not Dollar Spot anymore. They're in, but that's where they are, the Bullseye's Playground. They're $3 and you do get 6. So I feel like this is still a good deal to buy at Target. And they are the wood eggs. So they come like this. So I did buy a couple of those. So I am throwing some of those in here as well. So the best thing about this is, so if, number one, if you have this potpourri vase filler filling around, I think they look like little eggs to me. You could definitely speckle them, but I am doing, they kind of got some texture too, which I know most eggs are smooth. They're not really textured, but I kind of love the texture that they have. And so what I am doing is, like I said, making a mess. I literally am just taking this color is so pretty. So this is one of my favorite colors. It's called Dried Sage. You can use any paints, craft paints. You don't have to have fancy paints by any means. I'm always just using what I have on hand. This is a really pretty color too. Which one is that on? I think that's on this one. So I really liked this color for spring too. What is this called? Beachcomber Beige. So that was one of the colors I used too. So I am just literally super simple project. Let me grab one of these little eggs. I'm even calling them eggs. No, whatever these things are. I don't know what they are. And I am just covering them. You're gonna get your hands messy. These little guys though, they kind of need some coats of paint. They kind of have this like some little holes, and so I'm just trying to go real thick in those areas to kind of fill those holes with the paint. I don't want them to look that textured, if you know what I mean. I just want it to be, I don't want them to, so if you can see, I kind of filled those holes with the paint over here. I haven't done that area yet. So just kind of go thick in those areas. And I think at our last spring sale that we had here, I got rid of a lot of my, we don't decorate for Easter anymore since the kids are old and they're just, the Easter bunny doesn't come anymore and all of that. Somebody asked me, do we do Easter baskets for our kids? We did Easter baskets for our kids every year when they were little. And then I do the whole Easter egg hunt. We used to host Easter egg hunts here in our neighborhood. We would put it on and make treats and like make baskets for all the kids. And, but anymore, we're kind of, and our kids kind of said too, Easter's not for gifts. They don't want gifts. And our kids, I don't know, they're just not candy eaters. So it's not like even I can get them like some fun candy or something. They just really aren't. which is a good thing. I'm not complaining, but it's just kind of like, so no, we don't really do that anymore. You love every stage, but those little stages when everything was just so magical and fun, I miss that. So if you have little ones at home, or if you're a grandparent to little ones, like just hang on to that because it goes by way too fast. So I'm going to share this other color too. This is actually called Vintage Duck Egg. So it's just a really pretty kind of, I actually shared on if you guys saw my paint order that I got this week, I shared that live on Tuesday. You can just scroll back through the feed to find it. I really I haven't tried it yet, but I got a blue color in that paint order. I can't wait to try it. This is kind of a good example to show you guys. It kind of goes on green, more green to me than how it dries. Can you see that difference? This is dried and this is how it goes on. That color, that new to me color that I got in my order that I shared on, I think that was Tuesday. It's a nod to this color, but yet really light. And I should have opened that to do this project, but I didn't. I should have, because I think that would be really pretty, because it's dark, but still a spring color. So what I do is I hold this and try not to, I've dropped many of these as I was painting them because they're kind of hard to hold. And then I kind of just let go if you need to and kind of pat the rest of the areas. They're not something that you can stick like on a wood skewer and paint, as I'm getting the blue paint on this green egg. So there we go. So I just kind of was just patting it as it was, just to get those few extra little areas. Okay, so I'm not gonna paint these all. Oh, I should show you this. I really liked this color. Let me just wipe off my hands a little bit. Keep a wipe near you. I love this color. We're gonna be doing the bathroom it's kind of in that color tone now, but we're gonna be painting the bathroom, and that's what I'm going with. Some of these, most of them look like eggs, but some of them, let me do this one. Some of them are a little more round. Like this one I wouldn't use, obviously. This one's kind of not like an egg shape, but the rest of them are. So, and the fun thing about this is that you get to make it you get to make your eggs whatever color you want, or that go with your home or whatever, but it's kind of the same color as it is, but it's just like this pretty beige color. I just love this color. So let me just get this one. Oh, thank goodness I didn't drop that on my sweatshirt. I don't think this is a paint sweatshirt yet. If I really looked, I could definitely find some paint. I am sure of it, but not like noticeably, or like, like a big, huge, you know what I mean. For anybody that paints knows what I mean. Okay, so I'm just gonna kind of move that over. I'm gonna grab another wipe here. I just have these. And then I'll show you what I'm doing to kind of, so you could definitely speckle them easily. Just take a firm paintbrush and you kind of want a firm paint. Well, you could use a soft one, but I think a firm one would be a lot better. And dip it in brown paint and kind of, let me show you. I don't think I will rinse that one off. And then you can just kind of go like, you'd put the brown paint on and then, you know what I mean? Like this, and then it would kind of speckle it. It might take a long time, but I didn't want to do that. I just kind of wanted to age these eggs a little bit more. So what I've been doing is, I'm making myself too nervous now. I just took some brown craft paint, brown, I'm sure you could use a wax or a stain. And then I am taking just an old, I love these little brushes. Gabrielle has them in her art, so I just kind of steal them. So what I'm doing, I actually was asked this morning when I went live on Instagram, how do you dry brush? So this is literally what I do. So I have a little bit of paint on there, but that's too much. Like I don't want it wet at all. Can you see what I'm doing? So do you see how much paint was on there? That's a wet brush. So you definitely don't want that much paint on there. So I usually, this is just a paper towel. This is what I have on hand, a rag or a paper towel. You want to get as much of that off as you can. And then, can you guys hear Landon upstairs? I'm like, what's going on? So then I'm just kind of brushing over the paint, and my brush is pretty much dry. And then I'm just kind of making these eggs a little bit darker, just a little bit kind of like, are they dirty? Are they older? Are they like, what are they? So you can see the difference here and then compared to like just being painted. I just kind of wanted them to look old. That's it. Back in the day, before I knew how to paint furniture, before I knew all the things, and it was just like use whatever you had on hand because that was cheaper. This is what happens if you don't have a dry brush. If you get it quick, it'll come off. I would kind of age our furniture with brown paint. Like I got really good at it. I would water down brown paint and kind of add that, you know, the antique look without having glazes or antique wax or, so this is kind of the same kind of thing. So there we go. So I just want the eggs to look a little bit, you know, like they're old or whatever, right? So easy peasy. I haven't gotten all of those done because these are kind of taking, because I did have to kind of douse some of these in paint just to cover these little ones. So they're kind of taking a little bit longer to dry. So I'll have to wait to do all of them. But now, I used, what color did I use for that? Oyster. I used like it's not really an off-white. I would say it's like a gray white for that color. So this is kind of the colors that I kind of went with. They are so not done at all yet, but I just kind of wanted to show you, this is how I think, this is how I decorate. I saw this in the thrift store. I immediately thought that they looked like little eggs. I knew I didn't have any little eggs. I knew it would be a fun project, something to share here as well. Easy projects, right? Those are our favorite. I'm gonna move this over and then show you something else quick. So obviously rinse out your paintbrushes and all that when you're all done. So another question I get asked a lot is, so how do you decorate with the things you find? And so we've been talking about it. You should have seen it here, about a new community that we're thinking about starting. But anyway, so this amazing ironstone dish, right now I have Scrabble tiles in here. I've shared before that I love to pick up old Scrabble games, and I just have vases or like dishes or vases or whatever, vessels of all kinds, and I put Scrabble tiles in there. And then we can, as a family, we can, you know, I can put a word on the table, the coffee table or wherever this is, and then the family, as they kind of walk by, they kind of add to the word. So it's kind of like an impromptu Scrabble game that you don't have to sit down for 2 hours and play because your schedules are just so crazy and busy. So it's just kind of a fun way to still stay connected. Yeah, it's just a fun thing to do. So along with that, so I just thought I'd share with you. So these eggs, when I get them done, I could put them in something like this. I thrifted, obviously take these out and put them in something else. I also thrifted this huge nest. Right now I have our sea glass and like our heart rocks that we have picked up over the years in one of our favorite places to ever be. If anybody here lives or knows of South Haven, Michigan, we want a place there. Or anywhere along that place. We absolutely love it, the entire family. Anyway, so I would take these, you know, even if you didn't want to like really take them out, you could put all the eggs in this, you know, during the spring and then this for the summer. if you didn't want to put them anywhere. But just a nest, and I have found nests in thrift stores. Small, this huge one was a thrifted find. And then this as well is just kind of another dish. This nest was on here inside our hutch. But something like this, you could thrift as well. So pieces like this, let me move this stuff. Pieces like these, number one, they're older, they're vintage, they're antique. I love them the way, just as they are, but you can use them all year round. So they look different all year round depending on what you put in them. If those eggs were done, I would totally put them in here, but they're just not dry yet. So you get the gist, right? And and layer things. So if this piece was big enough, I would do this piece. I would put the nest inside, and then I would put the eggs on inside of that. But just these classic pieces like this, always look for them in the thrift store because, it's Christmas ornaments during the Christmas season. It's pine cones and, that's during the winter, and greenery in the winter. In the fall, it's acorns and whatever. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, they're just classic. And then decorating doesn't have to be hard and stressful. It's just, you switch out what's in here, which is so easy, but yet it looks different every time and makes you feel like you've kind of decorated and welcomed the new season without having to do a lot of, decorating. Does that make sense? I hope that's helpful. I just thought I'd share with you kind of what I will do with these once I get them done. And once they dry, if that ever happens, it's going to be like a weekend trip, come down and put a coat of paint on them and then go do something else. But it's April Fool's Day. If you are here, tell me, has anybody done anything to you, or have you done anything to anybody today? I would love to know. I don't know. Landon didn't come home. When he came home, I didn't ask him anything about April Fool's, but I thought it might be too late by the time they get home from school, or like Matt gets home from work, because, people would have done it at work, or they would have said something at school. But I would really still like to do something to them or whatever. So if you guys have any good ideas, put them in the comments. You live in Michigan. South Haven is beautiful. Where do you live in Michigan, Lisa? And let me know if you have any questions. So right now I am kind of going through the comments here. Oh my gosh, Janet, I stole your idea with the Scrabble pieces, and the grandkids were making sentences with them today. So thanks for that. It's like a learning thing for the kids too, but yet it's fun. They don't even know they're like learning, using letters, putting words together, sentences together. Those were my favorite things to do for my kids. Like, just randomly put some things out that they could maybe not think about, like those, like alphabet, animal crackers, but they were the alphabet, or the alphabet cereals, like, oh, let's just get this out for a snack or whatever. And then they would start matching, or we would start doing things like that, where it's like, it was fun learning. So I love that you did that. And I love that they were using them to put together sentences. I worked with kids. Like, I thought I was going to be doing that I have my own kids, but from 11 years old all the way through like after college. So those kinds of things, they're so fun. You painted, okay. Janet says, hey there, I painted eggs yesterday after I blew out the yolks. They're so cute. Do you have any, I remember, I think my mom always had us doing like fun, creative things. I think my mom had us try that, or did that one year. It's super hard, is it not? To blow out the yolks from the eggs. For some reason, I'm thinking use a pin. I just remember that as a kid, and it being, I'm like, oh my gosh. Like, sometimes when I blow up too many balloons, like my cheeks hurt but like that was so hard. And maybe they've got something different now where it makes it a lot easier. You'll have to let me know, Janet. And maybe I dreamt that. Old toothbrushes. Yes. Barbara, old toothbrushes are good for speckling. Yes, especially like the firmer ones. Just make sure that your area is like, you're in an area where it's going to go everywhere, your clothes and everything. So if you're speckling them, just make sure you're wearing paint clothes. But they'd just be little specks, so then you would never really see it, and they could still be your good clothes, but not on anything light. Just make sure your entire area is covered, because it's so funny. because on where I do like most of these things, and I do a lot of projects here, I don't notice that things have kind of splattered a little bit until it's like a month later and you're sitting down to do something and you're like, what? Like I can see them right now. It's like, what did I do there? Was I sharing something? And it's usually when I'm doing a live here because I'm watching this here and then I don't notice it until it's like, oh, I don't know, a week later and I'm doing another live. I see that my mom is here. I don't know if she's still here. Mom, did you have us, didn't we do that blowing of the yolk out of the egg? Somebody said that they did this here and I swear it was so hard. Like it hurt our cheeks. I swear we did that. Maybe the original mom is here. She's the one that started this creative journey. I love decorating for all the holidays and seasons. It's so fun. It is so fun. And simple things like this, because I get a lot of messages from people where they're like, I really want to, but I don't want to spend a whole day decorating or like changing things out. Simple things like this, where literally you use the same vessel that you just have in your home, all the time, all year round, just changing the things in it. It makes it so much easier and doable for so many people that we're all so busy, right? We just, we want to do it, but yet we're so busy. Okay, I'm going to go down here to the end. Okay, Mom said, yes, we did that before I knew to break the yolks first. Poke the egg with a needle and blow. Sandy said, yes. I did Ukrainian eggs in high school and my son just broke it 35 years later. Okay, so now I want to know what that egg is. I don't know what that is. Is that a Ukrainian egg? Is that like, is it a painting thing? What is that? Okay, let me see. Okay, so you live by Monroe between Detroit and Toledo. Okay, so I think that's kind of far, right? I think Detroit is kind of far from. I saved the color foil from the chocolate eggs and then wrapped some grapes in the foil and put them in my son's lunch. That is the best. Oh my gosh, that's a really good April Fool's. Mom, I was gonna do something with Dad, but it's too late now, but that is really good, Colin. Thank you for sharing that. That's a really good one. Poke the egg with a needle and blow. Yes. Okay. I think that's it. I'm just wondering what that Ukrainian egg is. You'll have to, if you can put a photo in the comments of what one is. I guess I can Google it too, but that sounds interesting. And you said it lasted for 35 years. Let me see. I did Ukrainian eggs in high school and my son just broke it 35 years later. Like, what is this thing? That sounds amazing. Ukrainian eggs are made with ink and covering the hardest. And so it's an ink and covering. The hardest part is putting the design on the eggs. Yes, Janet, poke with a pin on each end. I remember this. I pick at the bottom of them, not pointed end, to make a little bigger. You do have to puff out your cheeks to blow. You have to break the yolk, might make it easier. Janet, yeah, that's what my mom just said. I just remember like, oh my gosh, like it wasn't coming out. I mean, I think it did, but I was just like, oh, this isn't a fun project. Okay, so that makes sense. They're really fragile. Oh my gosh, you can post a photo here while we're live. You guys, look at this. And wax. Can you guys see that? Those are beautiful. Wow. Those aren't real eggs. Those aren't real eggs. Are those real eggs? No way. Okay, now I have to know if they are real eggs that you're doing this to. Like, do you blow? Are they something else? Because you said he broke them. So I'm thinking if you were able to keep real eggs, like the shell of a real egg, for 35 years, and amazing like that, you win today. You are the winner. That's unbelievable. Those are pretty though. Wait a minute. Okay, so Kathy, now my next question is, how do you keep those unbroken for 35 years? Did you just have them in like an egg carton? obviously closed. This would be closed. And they stayed that long, like through moving boxes, and that's, wow. That's amazing. They're beautiful though. Gabrielle would love to do that. I think she would love to do those. I need to show her those when she gets home. Oh, we don't blow them out. They dry out through the years. Okay, Kathy, next questions. Do they smell like as they're drying out or as they sit there? Maybe they don't. That's awesome. Yes, oh, so you kept them in egg cartons. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. I would think that I would, 35 years, that was good though. There's no way. I think they would have broke way before 35 years. That's awesome. Okay, so that's all I'm doing with these little, this is what I got. So I wanted to share what I was doing with them. They looked like little eggs to me. No smell. Wow. This has intrigued me. That's amazing. So this is what, like I said, you may have this in your home. It's like a vase filler. Somebody said potpourri. I mean, it kind of smells like vanilla to me, so maybe it is potpourri. But they look like little eggs. And for $2, I needed some little spring eggs. I didn't have any. And then these you get at Target dollar area for $3. For $6, I mean, regular sized wood eggs, I think that's a good deal. So the yolk dries and you can shake them. So does the yolk stay there for like 35 years? Oh, I was in tears when he broke it. It did. Oh, it didn't smell. I thought you said it did smell and it like brought you to tears. Oh my gosh. What? Listen, you guys, I have a dozen eggs that I blew out about 30 years ago. I keep them in an egg box from year to year. And they're so, I would think they would break for sure. Oh my gosh. That's crazy. I didn't know that. The inside just dries up. That's awesome. That's awesome. There's a project, you guys. You could do this Easter season with your kids. If you have younger kids, if I would have known this back in the day, I just knew that it wasn't a fun project with my mom, had us do it. But like you guys keeping it for 35 years and then, yes, keeps for years. I have 50-year-old eggs. I mean, you could pass those down to your kids after, if they did them. I think that would be a fun project to do with your kids. Okay, well, do some April Fool's jokes on your family if Landon's upstairs, so I'm being quiet. My gosh, the grapes with the foil from the chocolate eggs. That's a good one. I've never heard that one. That is such a great idea. I need to figure out something to do or just something to say, some joke or something crazy. I don't even know. So do something and then come back and tell us what you've done. If you're watching this on replay, let me know you were here. Just put #replay. Ask me any questions. I always come back and check them. If you've got good April Fool's jokes or whatever, pranks, put them in the comments too, because we need them. It's just a good day to prank your family. Okay. All right, guys, thanks for watching. If these kind of videos are helpful so you can see what I'm doing with the things I'm bringing home, easy projects to decorate your home on the cheap, share them, sprinkle the love. That's what you're supposed to say. It helps me out. It helps me know that you like to see these and to do more of these. And then we can get these videos in front of other people to help them as well. So, okay, guys, have a great rest of your Friday. Have a great weekend. And I will touch base with you guys next week.